In this video, I'd like to take you through the process of configuring Balloon Finder. Once you have Balloon Finder installed on your PC, launch the Balloon Finder application from the Start menu. The first time that Balloon Finder launches, it will take several minutes for it to unpack the map files that were downloaded. This lengthy delay should only occur on the first time you launch Balloon Finder. Once Balloon Finder is started, in the toolbar go to Tools and Options. This will bring up the configuration screen. Starting with the General tab, the Use Voice Enunciation for Primary Tracked is an option of whether or not the Balloon Finder should speak the position of the primarily tracked station. If you turn this on, in this case every 5 minutes the program will speak the altitude, speed, and position of the balloon. These auto start functions offer you to automatically connect to the GPS, the TNC, or the APER's IS when the program launches. This is helpful if you're using the APER's IS or always have a TNC installed. If the COM port is not available when the program starts, it can get confused. The plot non-track stations is usually left on, and if so, the map will plot all APER stations that it receives. Alternatively, you can simplify it so that only stations that are being specifically tracked are shown on the map. By default, this map will only plot stations that are within 500-mile radius of yourself in order to conserve resources. And finally, the Use Metric Units option tells the software to use metric instead of English for some of the parameters in the software. On the APER's IS tab, you can select various options to connect to the APER's IS servers. In the drop-down there are several APER's IS servers that are pre-configured, or you can type your own server into the box. The APER's IS server port is a parameter for which port to use to connect to that server, and the defaults in here select the port with it. The logon call sign is the call sign that's used to log on to the APER's IS server, and the APER's IS server password is the passwords that's associated with that logon. If you need your logon password, you can click the link and it'll take you to a website that you can find your password. If the APER's IS server that you're using allows filtering, you can enter the filter parameters into the box here. For example, r/38/97/500 tells the APER server to only show stations that are within 500 miles of the 38 degrees north, 97 degrees west location. There are 3 eye-gating options that you can choose from. No eye-gating of stations, eye-gate track stations only, or eye-gate any traffic that's received by the TNC. If you choose the third option to eye-gate all traffic, anything heard on the TNC port will be transmitted up to the Internet Gateway. Alternatively, sometimes it is useful to only transmit the tracked stations to the Internet Gateway to reduce traffic. The third tab is the TNC communication settings. Here you can enter your call sign for the station that's going to be transmitted through the TNC. You can select your COM port for your TNC, select your baud rate and flow control. And finally, you can select the type of TNC that you have connected. Balloon Finder currently supports generic terminal mode TNC, a generic KISS mode TNC, the KPC3 in terminal mode, and the KPC3 in KISS mode. The fourth tab is the My Station tab. These are the parameters that tell the Balloon Finder where you are located. By default, Balloon Finder will use the stationary latitude, longitude, and altitude settings that you have selected. If you have a GPS connected to the Balloon Finder and have the COM port opened, the Balloon Finder will use the GPS position coming in. Here you can select the COM port and the baud rate for the GPS received data. And finally on the screen you can set the symbol that you want to use. And the last tab is the Beaconing tab. Here you can enable the option to beacon your current position to the TNC, your current position to the APER's IS connection, and if you choose to do so, how frequently it's going to send the beacon and any status messages that you'd like to send with it. That concludes the configurable options in Balloon Finder. When you're finished changing the options, simply click OK and the options will take effect. Please be sure to check out some of the other Balloon Finder videos, such as how to run flight predictions, how to download additional maps, and how to track balloons. Thanks for watching.